Alright, what's up? It's Chess Poems, and I'm back today to make a video I've wanted to make for quite some time at this point, covering what I see as kind of a golden line for 3-check. It comes out of the main line with the most amount of games in the database by a lot after this opening e4 and either e6 or c5. A lot of these openings can transpose into each other, so just to play out a couple more moves, knight c3, now c5, knight f3, and knight c6, importantly, starting to close down this light square diagonal, especially from the bishop. Say you were just to play this right away, you would lose immediately,
Check.
giving up a couple checks like this.
Check.
So that's just kind of some beginner stuff for 3-check, to start noticing these diagonals, closing them down. And this is kind of a typical line where we'll get e5, really thematic in this position, and something like 69,000 games. Nice in the database. So after d5, which is the main line, there is also some tricky other stuff like this, but d5 is the main line, and this is the one we're going to look at today. If you've never played 3-check, you should go and play these 4 moves out on the board, and we're going to kind of see why mainline theory has moved past this. Most of the good players don't go for this anymore. This is just kind of your traditional standard setup for white, or for black, excuse me, and white can pretty much get a winning position from this after a move like bishop b5, or as we'll see in this line, knight b5. This is the move I'll suggest, at least to start off your repertoire, and kind of advance from there. And now, basically a6 is the only move. There's some other tricks, knight h6, knight f6, giving up, just giving away a minor piece. You'll see that a lot, especially with the good players. But in most of your games, you'll just see a6. The knight will check on d6, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and most importantly here, if you'd like to take a second to figure it out, pause your video. But most importantly here, we'll just go ahead and point it out as d4, and you'll see it in the database, 73% winning here for white, as opposed to the next top move, which is, 20% less than that. This move is just not as strong. By far, none of these moves really do it. Even c3 is a little slow. You just want to go straight in for d4. And now this kind of baits black into thinking about taking, in which case we can just develop a piece, give away a check. Oh my god, you're getting this free check. Develop another piece. Look at this piece. Look at all our pieces. Got 1,000,000 pieces up in here. It's a piece party. Queen's attacked. Sometimes they'll just give away the queen, in which case you still have 1,000,000,000 pieces and a check, and this knight is tied down to the light squares. It's just a horrible situation for black. So most of the time, queen d6 is played. Queen e7 is also played a fair amount, and that's another attempt at a hold, but we just continue. So we'll castle. And right here, the analysis gives you something like, well, after black makes a move especially, but yeah, it gives you something like a +10. There's just really nothing going on for black. A lot of the times you'll get knight f6. Yeah, this is the line we're covering here. Just develop the rook. Now we're bringing another piece in here, threatening a check. Black, will often castle. Like in this line, 200 plus, yeah, almost 300 games in this castling line. And this happened here. This player was kind of a sus player at a 2467 question mark account, but I've had this line in a lot of games, so I don't think the opponent really matters. Like, clearly this was some strong player, but everybody in the database at this point is going to be really strong. And I have a fair amount of games still going to this, 13 plus moves in with a second check here, bishop check, knight will take, and now if you want to pause your video and think about what move you would play here, the move we're going to look at is probably not something you'll consider unless you're a really sharp player, and I'm just going to go ahead and play it. You can look right here as well that it's not the top move. It's actually the second top move with only 33 games played. Bishop f4, double exclamation. And you're thinking, this bishop's just free. I'll just go ahead and have this bishop. But the problem here for black is that queen d3 is striking this with a check. Everything is futile. You can't just move the knight because there's a check. You can't just play g6 because there's a check. And if you play f5 right here, there's just still a huge problem for black where queen a3, the queen being on the third rank and having access to this dark square complex is what really changes the ball game. There's no way to put your queen here, put your knight here. There's just no way to stop this. There's too many weaknesses on the dark squares now. This piece is irrelevant. This piece is irrelevant. The queen is worth 10 billion points and is ending the game. When there's two checks on and the queen is on, so say you have two checks and your queen's on, there's basically always going to be a scenario where you're going to be able to find that third check, barring you're like losing to mate one or something, where yeah, sometimes you'll actually see a queen check here just to keep the game going, but at this point, the game is over. There's just no way the only ways to hold on are to give up your pieces, in which black will usually resign. But in the game, we get, after d3, we get f5, right? What happened in this game? Okay, this guy just played g6, but yeah, f5 is the try, and then queen a3 solves that, and the only real way to hold on here is takes, and that's the only way you'll survive for just another move. And this top game is a couple of good players. FM Nicholas, friend of the channel. So yeah, anytime you're seeing his name in the database or a lot of these strong players, you know you're doing well. So just wanted to make a quick video on this line. I hope you guys can use that one. If you're a seasoned 3-check player, you might not even know about this one, so that's good. And if you're a new player, this will really help you get a sort of foundation to which you can expand upon. So that's it for this one. Thanks everyone for coming out. I am Chess Poems.